हरि ओम। ओ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सूर्याय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री दुर्गायै नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। भवानी शङ्करौ वन्दे श्रद्धाविश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धाः स्वान्तस्तमीश्वरम्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Namah Parvati Pataye. Har Har Mahadev. Hari Om. Hari Om. So Bhagwan himself revealed this knowledge, this great knowledge which is there in our Vedas and which was revealed here in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagwan says, I have revealed this in the beginning of creation to Lord's Son. He gave it to Manu, Manu to Ikshvaku. But due to a long passage of time, it got corrupted. Hence Bhagwan says, I have given the same knowledge to you, hey Arjuna. And when Arjuna asked about his how he could give to Surya, who was born before, Bhagwan says, I have taken many births, and you have also taken many births. I remember them all, I know them all, but you don't know. Though I am unborn, though I am immutable, though I am the Ishvara of all beings, taking Prakriti in my control, I manifest myself in different forms. Whenever the dharma becomes weak, when the dharma goes down, and when adharma arises, Bhagwan says that I manifest myself to protect the good people, to destroy the evil people, and to establish dharma. Bhagwan says, I manifest in every yuga, sambhavami, yuge yuge. But Bhagwan's janma and Bhagwan's karma are not ordinary. They are not like the karma and janma of a jiva. Bhagwan, though unborn, appears to take birth because of his own Maya Shakti, and though not doing any karma, Bhagwan appears to be doing karma. So Bhagwan's janma and Bhagwan's karma, also Bhagwan's karma of Shrushti, Sthiti, Laya, Nigraha and Anugraha are very divine. They are not ordinary. And one who recognizes Bhagwan properly, in tattva, in essence, Bhagwan says that person becomes free. He attains me. Once he drops the body, he is not born again. He attains me. Tyaktva deham punarjanma neti mameti sorjuna. So we talked about the 5 beautiful expressions of one Ishvara. Ishvara alone takes the form of Brahmaji or of Surya, and he creates this world. Ishvara alone taking the form of Vishnu. As Vishnu, Bhagwan protects the world, and expressing himself as Mahesha, as Shiva, Bhagwan alone annihilates the world. Bhagwan alone, through his Shakti, as Devi, Bhagwan restrains the world. And Bhagwan alone, as Ganapati, blesses the world to gain moksha also. So yesterday I spoke about these 5 expressions which we have to worship. We worship Ishvara. We worship Ishvara in all his glory. All our Ishta Devtas are Ishvara only, should be Ishvara. We should not worship false god. We should not worship imaginary gods. We should not worship popular society-made gods. There are gods being manufactured by people also, imaginary. Ah. But those which are mentioned in the Vedas, those which are in tune with our Shastras, those which are properly established through long tradition, the expression of Ishvara we should worship. Our Ishta Devta is Ishvara. Our Kula Devta is Ishvara. Every Devta is connected to Ishvara. The 33 Devtas which I had mentioned before, they are also connected to Ishvara. They are there, appointed by Ishvara to take care of this world. Take care of different aspects of this world. So even these five great elements which we see are expressions of Ishvara. Ishvara alone, we see the creative aspect of Ishvara in the earth. We see different beings, they grow on earth, they are sustained by this earth. We see the beauty of water, Bhagwan expressing as water, blessing and sustaining all beings. Bhagwan also expresses as fire, and he swallows, he annihilates all beings. Bhagwan expresses as Vayu, and he controls, restrains all beings. And Bhagwan also expresses as space, the mighty, infinite Akash, and blesses everyone with moksha also. Those who want moksha, they get moksha. Those who want other blessings, they get other blessings. So these are the five expressions of one Ishvara. That those expressions we see in our own body also. We are connected, we are born on earth, we are connected to earth with our feet. Our feet is always connected to earth. However high we fly, we have to come down on earth, and we are supported by earth. We stand on earth. So our this earth is, feet is representing earth. Then we have our kidney, our urinary system and all, the water. The water sustains us. Then we have fire in our belly, which digests all our food. Whatever we eat is digested. God alone is there in our stomach as this fire. Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashritaha. Remaining in our body as fire, Bhagwan digests our food, consumes everything. Bhagwan alone is there in our lungs as Vayu, restraining us, controlling us, disciplining us. Our breathing, everything is controlled by this Vayu. And Bhagwan alone is there as space in our head, blessing us with proper buddhi, with proper understanding. So we should tune ourselves, tune our body, tune our senses. The Devtas and all are there residing in our senses. The Devtas are there residing in our Antakarana. The Devtas are there residing in our Pancha Pranas. The Devtas are there residing in our body. So Ishvara alone is there expressing through my own body, expressing through my senses, my mind, my intellect. Ishvara alone is there expressing through this beautiful world which we see. Ishvara alone is there in my waking, in my dream, in my deep sleep. Ishvara's glory we can see all around in a beautiful way. Everywhere we see Ishvara's glory. So we have to tune ourselves through our upasana, through our bhakti. We have to tune ourselves with Ishvara. Phone is ringing, huh? Let it stop. Okay. So we have to tune ourselves to Ishvara through our upasana, through our sadhana. It has stopped. We have to tune ourselves to Ishvara. We have to feel our connection to Ishvara through our body, through our mind, through our senses. We have to feel the connection with Ishvara through this whole world. We have to feel connected to Ishvara through all beings, through the Devatas, and through the expressions of Bhagwan as this Panchadeva. So Bhagwan says, one who worships me, one who understands me, my secret of my janma and my karma, they become free. So the question is, a question may come in our mind, that is this a new thing which Bhagwan is telling? The path of moksha? Or was it followed by people in the past and they have attained this moksha? Or is it something very new? Bhagwan answers that question in the next verse. He said, this is not new. Many jivas have followed this path and have attained moksha. Bhagwan says, Vitaraga bhaya krodhaha manmaya mamupashritaha bahavo jnana tapasa puta madbhavamagataha. Bhagwan says, Vitaraga bhaya krodhaha manmaya mamupashritaha bahavaha. Bhagwan says, many jivas. Bahavaha means many, countless. Many jivas, mad bhavam agataha, they have attained my bhava, means they have attained oneness with me. They have attained their identity with me. They have recognized me as their own self. They have realized that aham brahmasmi. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham. They have recognized the self in them, and the self in everyone is one. They have recognized this oneness which is revealed in the Vedas, in the Upanishad as Tattvamasi, as Aham Brahmasmi, as Prajnanam Brahma, as Ayam Atma Brahma. So many have attained me. But how did they attain you? Bhagwan says, Putaha, having purified themselves completely. How did they purify? What are the impurities? We have our ignorance, we have our raga, dvesha, kama, krodha. We have so many impurities. They purified themselves and attained me. Because the impurities prevent us from becoming one with Bhagwan. The impurities separate us from Ishvara. The basic impurity is our ajnana only, our avidya. And that avidya is giving rise to various types of confusion and various types of other impurities. So Bhagwan says they have purified themselves completely. How did they purify themselves? Bhagwan says, Jnana tapasa, by the tapas of knowledge. Means by the tapas of, they gained that knowledge and they did the sadhana of gaining abidance in this knowledge. The jnana nishtha. So through jnana nishtha, that itself is tapas. Not doing some other tapas, physical tapas, but only jnanam eva tapas. The knowledge that I am Brahma, I am that supreme reality. Holding on to that knowledge and meditating on that, they purified themselves and attained me. But how did they gain this knowledge, and how did they purify, reach this what you call state of meditation? Bhagavan says, Mam upashritaha manmaya vitaraga bhaya krodhaha. So the whole stages of evolution of a seeker is presented in this verse very beautifully. The hint is given. So first is vitaraga bhaya krodhaha. These seekers, these jivas, became free of raga bhaya krodhaha. And how one can become free of this? By following the path of dharma and then following the path of karma yoga. Through karma yoga we have seen before also how we can gain that purity. See, all our purities are summed up into these three: raga, bhaya and krodha. Raga means our intense attachment. We become attached because of our ignorance only. We become attached to those things which we feel are giving us joy, giving us happiness. So through our senses, through our mind, we interact with these objects and we gain that attachment to them. So raga and dvesha, as we have seen also, that we carry it from our past samskar, and we also cultivate it in this lifetime, getting attached to things and people and places, etc. So Bhagavan says that one who has become free of this, and how we can become free? Through karma yoga. So vita raga, and this raga itself leads to bhaya. The more we are attached to things and people, the more we are frightened also. What are we frightened of? We are frightened of losing them. We are attached to our body, we are afraid to die. We are attached to some objects, we are afraid that it will be taken away. We are attached to wealth and money and all, we are afraid that it will go away. Somebody will steal it, take it away, the government will take away. If we are attached to some place and all, we are afraid that, I will have to shift to another place. We are attached to our worldly freedom, we are afraid that it will go away. So, whatever we are attached to, it also gives rise to anxiety, worries, fear, bhaya of losing. And when we see that our things of our joy, things of our pleasure, I try to indulge in them, I try to acquire them, and I see some obstacle to them. I see some person or people or things coming in the way, then I become angry. We have seen before also that kama itself gets converted into krodha. Kama, our intense desire, when it gets obstructed, it gets converted into krodha. So raga, bhaya, krodha is seen in all beings, generally because of our ignorance, because of our adhyas. But when we follow the path of karma yoga, slowly and steadily, we become free of this raga, bhaya and krodha. When we do only our duties, lot of our raga gets eliminated. When we dedicate our duties to Ishvara, lot of our raga, bhaya, krodha gets eliminated. When we take whatever comes as Bhagavan's prasad, again all these negativities get eliminated. When we remain asanga, detached, and when we remain samatva, when we bring that samatva buddhi, all this raga, dvesha and all reduces. Our mind start becoming more and more pure. So we have seen in Karma Yoga that Kartavya Buddhi, Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, Asanga Buddhi, Samatva Buddhi, Prasada Buddhi. If we maintain this Buddhi while performing our work, our mind will start becoming more and more pure. And once the mind becomes pure, automatically we will develop that jidnyasa in us. That is the beauty. In a pure mind, jidnyasa means the thirst to know myself, thirst to know God, automatically comes up. It is the very natural response of our pure antakarana. In a pure antakarana, that thought comes, ki who am I? Who is God? What is this world? It can happen at any age. In Maharashtra, the great saint, Samartha Ramdas Swamiji, he was so young, a little boy, but he had such pure sanskar from his past life and this life also. As a child, he was just sitting at one place, looking at the world and just in that stillness. So his parent came and asked him, what are you doing here? What are you looking at this world so silent, so not talking? He said, I am just wondering who has created this world and what are all these beings doing here, getting disturbed, getting that sorrow and fear and all. I am worried about all these beings. I am doing chinta of all these beings. Little boy Shankaracharya ji, he developed that thirst to know who is God because of that purity. Swami Vivekananda ji, he developed that thirst, I want to know who is God. So whenever that purity comes, then naturally the jidnyasa also arises. Why people are not interested in, if you see people are not interested in God, not interested in moksha, not interested in something sublime, something more deep and universal, it is because of some impurity. Impurity binds us to little things of this world. Raga Dvesha binds us to little things. When we become free of these little things, we become aware of the vastness of this whole world. We become aware of the vastness of time. We become aware of the vastness of space. We become aware of the vastness of this whole cosmos. We become aware of our own self. And we want to know the secret of ourself. We want to know the secret of our relationship with the world and Ishvara. So naturally there is jidnyasa. And this jidnyasa takes us to our teacher. This jidnyasa takes us to our scriptures. This jidnyasa gives us this knowledge of our own self. This jidnyasa makes us understand that I, the world and Ishvara are related. In fact, all of us are one only. I, Ishvara and Jagat, Jiva, Jagat and Jagadishwar are one, they are not three. All the Jivas are one. All of us are connected to each other and to Ishvara in that oneness. So Bhagavan says, once the person becomes free of raga, bhaya and krodha, he becomes manmaya. Manmaya comes to understand his oneness with Ishvara. Ishvara abheda darshinaha. One understands one's abheda, one's identity with Ishvara. So manmaya, and through deep this Shravan, through Mananam, we come to understand that I and Ishvara are one. And once this understanding, this knowledge takes place, the person then gives up all his attachment to everything and totally dedicate himself to experience that oneness with Ishvara. He totally surrenders to Ishvara in that meditation, in the path of Nididhyasan, on the path of Jnana Nishtha. Person just drops everything and just surrenders to Ishvara takes refuge only in Ishvara. Bhagavan says, Mam ashritaha. Mam upashritaha. Taking refuge in me and me alone. That's called meditation. That's called surrender. That's called bhakti. That's called jnana-nishtha. That's called niridhyasan. All are synonyms. A person takes refuge after gaining knowledge, drops everything, all attachment and all karmas, and just surrenders to Ishvara. And through this surrender to Ishvara, through this identity and constant meditation on Ishvara as my own self, this itself is called jnana tapas. When jnanam itself is tapas. See, in the beginning, at the level of karma yoga, then we do other tapas like vachik tapas, mansik tapas, and sharirik tapas. But once a person has gained knowledge, then the knowledge itself is tapas. Then no other tapas is required. No other sadhana is required. One dedicates oneself totally to Ishvara alone. Shankaracharya ji writes कि केवल ज्ञान निष्ठा इत्यर्थः ज्ञानम एव च परमात्म विषयम तपः तेन ज्ञान तपसा. That only jnanam alone is the tapas. See, through Shravan we come to know that I am that Brahma. Through Manan I come to understand and gain that conviction that I am Brahma. But through jnana tapas, that is through meditation, through jnana nishtha, one comes to realize, one comes to experience that yes, I am Brahma. So Bhagavan says, many jivas through jnana tapas, putaha, having purified themselves. There is no parda, there is no screen in between the jiva and Ishvara. All the divisions which are created by our ignorance, they fall down. See, now we talk about I am a jiva, Ishvara is different. But the difference is only because of my attachment to my body, mind. But once I understand that my body, mind, senses, everything is Ishvara. Everything is expression of Ishvara. I myself am Ishvara. So when one comes to recognize this deeply and meditates and gains that abidance, then he becomes free of all the impurities. Therefore, bahavaha jnana tapasa puta, puta means pavitra ho gaye, has become absolutely pure, absolutely clean. No traces of ignorance, no traces of confusion, no traces of any adhyas, no traces of any negativities in that person. So having become totally pure, mad bhavam agataha, Bhagavan says they have attained me. Who? Many innumerable jivas have attained me by following this path of gaining the knowledge of the self as Ishvara. So this is the path. So though the scriptures talk about this twofold path, the Karma Yoga is just a preparation. It takes us to knowledge, and knowledge alone can give us moksha. Jnanat eva tu kaivalyam. Nanyah pantha ayanaya vidyate. There is no other path. There is only finally we have to gain this knowledge and gain abidance in that knowledge. Then we gain our oneness. We recognize our oneness with Ishvara. Ishvara blesses us when we meditate. Ishvara blesses us with this moksha. Ishvara blesses us with making us one with Him. We are already one, but we come to realize this. So whether we are following the path of Karma Yoga, we need Ishvara's blessings. Whether we do upasana, we do bhakti, we gain knowledge, or we meditate, all the time Ishvara's blessings are there with us. And finally, he blesses us and gives us moksha. So one question again some people may have. What is that question? Shankaracharya ji raises that question in his commentary. He says, Tava tarhi ragadveshavstah yena kebhyaschit eva atma bhavam prayachasi na sarvebhya iti. Bhagavan raises that if you say that many have attained moksha, many have attained oneness with me, and this has happened because of your kripa only, if many have attained, that means many have not attained. That means you give moksha to some and you don't give moksha to others. That means you are also having ragadvesha. Your favorite people you give moksha, and others you don't give moksha. So it appears as though Bhagavan is partial. Bhagavan is not same towards everyone. किसी किसी को मोक्ष मिल जाता है, किसी को नहीं मिलता है. This is not fair. One may feel that, oh, Bhagavan is not fair. But this is not true. Bhagavan says, I am fair towards everyone. I am same towards everyone. But the trouble is, everyone is not same towards me. That's what Bhagavan says now. In the next verse, he says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tans tathaiva bhajamyaham mama vartmanu vartante manushyah partha sarvashah. Bhagavan says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tans tathaiva bhajami aham. Bhagavan says, whoever approaches me in whatever way, I bless them in that way. Bhagavan doesn't take the initiative to bless us without we taking the first step. This is very important to remember. Bhagavan doesn't take the first step to bless us unless we take this first step. Unless we ask, Bhagavan doesn't give. Unless we show inclination, Bhagavan doesn't bless. Very important. I had mentioned this before also. If you check all the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita also, nowhere Bhagavan says, oh, I will bless you. Bhagavan says, you do these things, then I will bless you. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate. That is what we have to do. Then Bhagavan's blessing. Tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. You think about me, then I will bless you. You surrender to me, and I will bless you. You remember me, and I will bless you. You dedicate all your actions to me, and I will bless you. Bhagavan says, Ye yathamam, because there are as I said, infinite jivas, and infinite jivas having infinite variety of desires, and each one of them approach Bhagavan as per their own desire. And everyone doesn't have desire for moksha. So Bhagavan says that with whatever intention one approaches me, I bless them in that way. Ye yatha means ena prakarena, ena prayojanena, yat phalarthitaya. In whatever way a person approaches Bhagavan, with whatever intention one approaches Bhagavan, with whatever desire for whatever result one approaches Bhagavan, Bhagavan says, I bless them with that only. Depending on their karma, upasana, I bless them with that only. It's like suppose you go for something, you go to the, let us say, a supermarket. You want to buy something. So you ask that person, okay, I want this object. So that person gives you that object only. If he starts giving you something else, then you will not like it. You want a soap and he gives you a bucket. You want what you call some cosmetic and he gives you kaddu. So you will not like it. Similarly, a person wants some karma phala, so Bhagwan gives him that. Bhagwan doesn't give him moksha, though moksha is the ultimate. But if we don't desire, Bhagwan says, okay, I will wait for you to evolve. I will wait for you to understand. I will wait for you to finally realize that moksha itself is the supreme. So ye yatha mam prapadyante tans tathaiva bhajami aham. Mama vartmanu vartan. Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji writes कि नहीं एकस्य मुमुक्षुत्वम फलार्थित्वम च युगपत् संभवति. Bhagwan says all beings, the infinite beings together cannot desire moksha. If all beings together desire moksha, then Bhagwan will give moksha to everyone and everyone will be free. But there are infinite beings and each one of us are at different levels of evolution. And most of the beings not even imagine a thing called moksha. They want immediate satisfaction, immediate some result. So Bhagwan says, Ataha ye falarthinaha tan phalapradanena. So those who approach me for some result, even now if you see people going to some temples or doing some rituals or worshipping different deities, if you ask them, what do you want? So they will say something worldly only. Oh, I have this problem, Bhagwan should solve it. I am having some disease, he should remove that. I have some financial problem, Bhagwan bless me with it. Oh, मेरी बेटी की शादी नहीं हो रही है, Bhagwan should do something about it. Oh, all this trouble is there in the world, Bhagwan should do. So our whole direction of our prayer and all is towards something of this world. So Bhagwan blesses us with that. Not that he doesn't bless. Bhagwan says, yes, whatever you want, I will give you. So those who want phala, Bhagwan gives that phala. Then ye yathokta karinaha tu afalarthinaha mumukshavaha. But those who don't want any phala, but he performs all his duties, dedicating it to Ishvara. Having that moksha in his mind, which will come in future, but does karma yoga. This is very important. Bhagwan says, those who follow the path of karma yoga, dedicating all their actions to me, I bless them with knowledge. Chatan jnana pradanena. I give them knowledge of the self. Knowledge of ourself also comes by Bhagwan's blessing. And then Bhagwan says, those who have gained knowledge and doing that sadhana of jnana nishtha, ye jnaninaha sannyasinaha mumukshavaha cha tan moksha pradanena. Bhagwan says, I give them moksha. So for those who are sakam, those who have lot of desires and they are following the path of righteousness, but have lot of desire, Bhagwan says, I fulfill their desire. Then those who follow the path of karma yoga, Bhagwan says, I give them self-knowledge. And those who have attained self-knowledge and does sadhana of jnana nishtha, Bhagwan says, I give them moksha. Moksha pradanenam. Tatha arti haranenam. Also those who are sad and miserable and unhappy and want freedom from all their unhappiness, Bhagwan says, I give them freedom from their sorrows. So ye yatha prapadyante, those who worship Bhagwan and approach him in whatever way, Bhagwan also approaches them in the same way. Bhagwan is there all the time. See, there are two things which are there with us all the time, right from the beginningless time. One is our own antakkarana. our own mind, and another is Ishvara. Ishvara is there with us from the beginningless time. The scriptures say that I and Ishvara are like friends. Sakha. Dva suparna sayuja sakhaya samanam vriksham parishashvajate. And our own antakarana is there with us from the beginningless time, who is our sincere follower, our shishya, our own antakarana. So Bhagavan says, with whatever way you approach me, I will bless you. I am there with you all the time. Whether you are on earth or in heaven or in hell or wherever, I am there. All your relatives, all your friends, all your near and dear one will leave you and go away. I will never leave you. I will always be there with you. And I am just waiting for you to desire me. But you neglect me and you want this object and that object. Bhagavan says, okay, I keep giving. From beginningless time, I have been giving you. And I am waiting for you to ask for me. I am waiting for you to say, oh Bhagavan, I want you only. I don't want anything else. I just want to attain you only. I don't want anything. बहुत हो गया. ना मुझे धरती चाहिए, ना मुझे स्वर्ग चाहिए, ना मुझे ब्रह्मलोक चाहिए, ना मुझे कुछ चाहिए. मुझे सिर्फ आप चाहिए. Then Bhagavan embraces that person, gives him moksha. But till then, he gives him. So don't blame Bhagavan for being partial. Bhagavan says, I am not partial. But I don't do jabardasti on beings. If they don't desire moksha, I can't give them moksha just like that. So, ye yatham am prapadyante tans tathaiva bhajami aham. Bhagavan says, mama vartmanu vartante. Another thing is that all beings, knowingly and unknowingly, are following this path of Ishvara only. They are moving towards Ishvara. But some are very far away, some are closer. But all of them, ultimately, they will reach their destination. Just like the rain, when the water falls from the sky, it falls at different places. But, and all this water has come from where? From the ocean. The ocean evaporates by the blessings of the Lord's Sun. The water evaporates, becomes the cloud, and it condenses and falls down. But the desire of this water is to go back to the ocean. Some waters, they directly fall into the ocean. Means there are rains which directly fall into the ocean. Sometimes it rains on land or in some river, and sometimes the water falls in river, it goes back to ocean, or on land it goes into the underground water body, and it takes time to reach the ocean. But ultimately, all waters, their aim and goal is to reach the ocean. They are moving toward the ocean. So Bhagavan says all beings, good, bad, ugly, human beings, animal, bird, plant, devatas, all of them are moving towards me only. Knowingly, unknowingly, they are all coming to me. But some of them are taking time. Some of them are coming quickly. So mama vartmanu vartante manushya partha sarvashaha, and especially human being, Bhagavan says all are following on my path. But some are sticking to the proper path, some are taking diversion, some are trying to break rules on the way. They follow the adharma, they do paradharma, they do nishiddha karma, but some follow it sincerely, so they reach me. So, mama vartmanu vartante manushya partha sarvashaha. Hey Partha, hey Arjuna, all human beings are following my path and they are approaching me but they have different desires in their heart, and accordingly they approach me, so I bless them accordingly. So if Bhagwan is there all the time to bless me, Bhagwan is there all the time to, any time we ask, and he can give us freedom, he can give us liberation. So why human beings or why beings don't ask for moksha? Why they don't desire God? Why we don't ask for the supreme goal, supreme state of realization? Shankaracharya ji writes, Yadi tava Ishwarasya ragadi dosha abhavat, if you, Ishvara doesn't have raga, etc., raga, dvesha, likes and dislikes, or partiality, then sarva pranishu anujigrukshayam tulyayam, and if you have equal vision and blessing towards all beings, by giving them whatever they desire, सर्व फल प्रदान समर्थे च त्वयि सति वासुदेव सर्वमिति ज्ञानेन एव मुमुक्षवः सन्तः कस्मात् त्वाम्. So why not all beings gaining the knowledge that you alone are everything, Vasudeva sarvamiti, desiring this knowledge, why don't they desire moksha? Why they don't desire moksha? इति ज्ञानेन एव मुमुक्षवः सन्तः कस्मात् त्वाम् एव सर्वे न प्रतिपद्यन्ते. Why they don't surrender to you? Why human beings don't surrender to you? Why they don't desire moksha? Though you are available, though you are there to bless us, oh Bhagwan, why beings don't desire you? Bhagwan says now, in the next verse he says, कांक्षन्तः कर्मणां सिद्धिं यजन्तैह देवताः क्षिप्रं हि मानुषे लोके सिद्धिर्भवति कर्मजा. Bhagwan says that people have and beings have so many desires. Here now he is talking about human beings. Human beings are also having so many desires in them, and they want immediate fulfillment of their desires. And for this immediate fulfillment of their desires, they work and sometimes seek refuge in some devtas, take help of some forces of nature, they take help of some devtas, please them, and try to fulfill their desires immediately. And I have given, Bhagwan says, I have given special powers to human being. They can, through their actions, they can fulfill their desires. Therefore, we have seen in the second chapter also, Bhagwan saying that karmanneva adhikaraste, that human beings have this option, human beings have this adhikar for karma. Through karma, we can attain things. See, animal, birds, plant, they are bound, they are helpless, they have limited ability to change their environment, to change their situation. If they are stuck in some particular place or some particular situation, it's very difficult for them to change it through their own action. They don't have the ability to act to transform the world around them. They are bound by the laws of nature. They don't have choice. As I said, they have limited choice. If it rains, then the birds and the animals can rush somewhere and try to protect themselves. They can't, have a ability to have some facility. They can't have a umbrella and all manufactured. They have their own limitation. But human beings, they are given tremendous choice by Bhagwan. Choice to act, choice to perform karma. But this performing karma they do to fulfill their desires. So, kankshanta karmanam siddhim. desiring the result of karma, having that deep thirst to gain the result of their desires, to gain fulfillment for their desires through karma. Yajanta iha devata, human beings, they worship the different devatas. Not seeing me in them, but seeing their own limited powers of the devatas, they worship them to get their immediate results. Or even in this world, they will approach the earth, they will approach the fire, they will approach the waters, they will approach air to fulfill their immediate desires. See, even in our homes and all, we use fire for cooking and feeding ourselves. We use air to keep ourselves cool and nice and comfortable. We use the land to keep us, make accommodation for us to stay and all. We use space for our own movement and all. So we are using the Pancha Mahabhut for our immediate fulfillment. We are using the Devatas for immediate our fulfillment through our action. So Bhagavan says, Kangshantam karmanam siddhim yajanta iha devata. Desiring the fulfillment of their desires, they perform action worshipping these devatas. And as a human being, Bhagavan says, Kripram hi manushe loke siddhir bhavati karmaja. And in this Manushya Loka, one can gain the result immediately if you follow the proper rules and regulations. Then you will gain the result of your karma immediately in this Manushya Loka. So our kamya karmas are there. Our desires are there because of which we perform karma. Bhagavan says you will gain your result by performing karma immediately by the blessings of these devatas. That ability is there for human beings. That concession is given to human beings to fulfill their desires through karma. So since our whole attention is on our desires and to fulfill them immediately, and we have this equipment called karma in our hand to fulfill our desires, we neglect Ishvara. We don't pay attention to Ishvara. We don't recognize the beauty and the glory and the power of Ishvara. We seem to forget Him in our day-to-day life, in our day-to-day fulfilling our little desires. We forget Ishvara. We say ईश्वर की ज़रूरत नहीं है, मैं काम करूँगा, मैं प्राप्त करूँगा. What God? I don't want God. God is not required. We get our result through our work. काम करो, मेहनत करो, कमाओ, खाओ पियो, भगवान क्यों चाहिए आपको? So in this bargain we forget Bhagwan and we try to gain the result through our own actions, try to fulfill our desires, and in order to fulfill our desires we worship the little gods and forget Ishvara. So Bhagwan says, because of this people don't desire moksha. They don't want freedom from all their desires. They don't want the eternal happiness and peace which I can give them. They are too busy performing their work which I have given them the ability. It's like the children. The father is there, very rich, and his son is there. So the father gives the son some pocket money. And with that pocket money the son goes here and there, indulging in different pleasures of this world. And whenever the money finishes, he again comes back and to ask more money and again goes in the world to indulge. But never desires the father, never desires to sit with the father, talk to the father, be one with the father. No. He is interested in getting the pocket money and running in the world and spending that money. And whenever that is over, again comes back, again ask. So we don't ask Bhagwan, but we ask for fulfillment of our pleasures, not even directly from Bhagwan, from all these little devtas. So in the bargain, we have forgotten Ishvara. So Bhagwan says, therefore they don't desire moksha. But if they desire moksha, if they ask, I will give them, because I am always there. So ye yatha mam prapadyante tans tathaiva bhajami aham. So those who approach me in whatever way, I bless them in that way. So more about this. Here it is said that Manushya Loka, in this human world, we have this ability to work and to fulfill our desires. So how can we work to fulfill our desires? What system Bhagwan has made? Actually, Bhagwan has made this beautiful Varnashrama Dharma system. If we remain in that and work, then we will fulfill our desires. But even remaining there, if we have desire for moksha, we can attain moksha. If we don't have that desire, then we get stuck with this cycle of karma. More about this we will see in our class tomorrow. So you contemplate on what you have heard. Think about this Panchadeva puja also. And every day, if you can do that, worship Ishvara in all his glories, in all his expressions, not having any division in our mind. Don't have division that, oh, he is a Shiva worshipper, I am a Vishnu worshipper, he is a Ganapati worshipper, they are different, they are a Shakti worshipper, they are different. No, God is one only. And even when I am worshipping God as Shakti, she has got the within her is Shiva, Vishnu, Ganapati, Surya. So all these 5 expressions have all the 5 abilities also. So don't think that, oh, if I worship only Vishnu Bhagwan, then what will happen? How will I get blessing from Ganesha? Ganesha is also there. All of them are there within. But we have to worship them properly, get the blessings of Bhagwan in all his glories. One should look at Ishvara holistically and worship. So you do that, and we will meet again tomorrow. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram. Jaya Jaya Ram. Boliye Siyava Ramachandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.